Hello, friends. Let's discuss current affairs. We begin with the question Padma Awards. This is the recent awards that we've had every 26th January, that is on the Republic Day. The Government of India presents the Padma Awards. Now, there are three kinds of Padma Awards: Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan, and Padma Shri. The highest, of course, as I mentioned in the order in which these are mentioned, Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan, and Padma Shri. Highest among these three, of course, in the order in which these are mentioned. Please understand, it also reflects the contribution, level of contribution of the recipient. Now, above all of these awards would be the Bharat Ratna. So the highest civilian award in India is the Bharat Ratna. The Bharat Ratna. So these things lead to, this is how it is, my friends. Okay? Now, let me take you something, a little beyond this. Of course, the data here is already mentioned, about Padma Vibhushan Awards, Padma Bhushan and all. 5 Padma Vibhushan Awards were announced this year, while 13 Padma Bhushan Awards were announced. We'll come to Padma Vibhushan. As far as the Padma Bhushan Awards are concerned, you would have heard of what? I'm sure you know, the great Malayalam superstar Mammootty. Okay. So Mammootty is one of the Padma recipients of the Padma Bhushan. In the past, there had been a challenge to the Padma Awards. Like, someone said that this cannot be a title. These are sort of titles. So people cannot use these titles. So some of the recipients would, use Padma Shri, Dr. So-and-so. Padma Shri, actor before, after, followed by the actor's name. Now, this was being used as a title. And under Article 18 of the Constitution of India, titles cannot be used in India. So there is a clear-cut guideline in the Constitution of India that says there is absolutely no use of title in India. That is, you can't have a sir, you can't have, Bharat Ratna before the name of, let's say, Sachin Tendulkar. So we can't really say Sachin Tendulkar Bharat Ratna, we can't really say Bharat Ratna Sachin Tendulkar. We shouldn't say Bharat Ratna Dr. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar. That is how it is. But we can say Dr. Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar, recipient of Bharat Ratna awardee. That's how it is. But this is followed more in norm than, exception. So it doesn't really matter now. Now, please know that the Padma Awards were started. I think there is too much of yellow here, isn't it? Could we use red here? The Padma Awards were started in 1954. This is the first time the Padma Awards were given. Padma, as you know, is lotus. Okay. So, from here, and remember one more thing. These are given on the Republic Day. Okay? This year, 5 eminent persons were, were bestowed the Padma Vibhushan, India's second highest civilian award. Ladies and gentlemen, the first 4 are mentioned here. The Bollywood, actor, former actor, of course, he is dead. Dharmendra. Everyone knows him as mononymously. That is the first name as Dharmendra, but his full name was Dharmendra Singh Diyal. Then, of course, the former Chief Minister of Kerala, V.S. Achyutanandan. Then K.T. Thomas, who was a Supreme Court judge. He was also the guy who, presided over the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case. And P. Narayanan, an RSS ideologue and the local leader of the BJP in Kerala. He is also an eminent editor, journalist and all. Now, 4 plus 1, I said 5. So this is Dr. N. Rajam. Dr. N. Rajam. She is a violinist. You can see the instrument in her hand. Okay. So 5 Padma Vibhushans this year. Now, let me bring to you a little more. Identify the correctly matched pair of Padma Bhushan awardees. 13 were there. We have 3 here. We have, the very famous Piyush Pandey, the guy who came up with ads like, Cadbury's, Kuch Baat Hai. There was this great ad of, a woman running on the cricket pitch to celebrate the 6th shot of her friend on the on the cricket pitch. Then Vijay Amritraj, of course, Vijay Amrita. By the way, Piyush Pandey is also famous for his what is that? Pidilite, Fevikwik ads, Fevicol ads. Vijay Amritraj, as you would know, is a great sports person. He was at one point, I think, ranked world number 3 in tennis, men's tennis. He has been to the quarter final at Wimbledon and all. And of course, he also acted in a couple of Hollywood films, one of which is a James Bond film called Octopussy. Nori Dattatreyu, medicine, famous radiation oncologist. Oncology, as you know, is a study of cancers. The theme of the 77th Republic Day was, it's already mentioned, there are two themes, Swatantrata ka mantra, Vande Mataram, and Samriddhi ka mantra, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now, I'll not get into this, but I would like to tell you a little about, Republic Day itself. What exactly is a republic? A republic is a political system in which the head of the state is an elected representative. Let me repeat. A republic is a political system in which the head of the state is an elected representative. We have, India, where the head of the state is the president. The president in India comes to the office by way of election. MPs and MLAs elect the president of India, and we elect the MPs and MLAs. So it's an indirect election of the people of, indirect election of the president of India by the people of India. Nevertheless, it's an election. So we are a republic primarily because the head of the state of India is the president. Now we contrast this with a country like Britain, where the head of the state is a monarch, and a monarch always comes to the office of the head of state by way of inheritance. It's generational. You look at Saudi Arabia, you look at Bahrain, you look at for the matter, any monarchy. Now you go a little further, you will find that there is this country called Australia, which is not a republic, but Australia doesn't have a monarch. Technically not a monarch. You don't see the king of Australia, but yes, there is a monarch. How? Before that, let's look at New Zealand, Canada, Jamaica, I think Belize, Belize, Papua New Guinea, all of which have the British monarch as the head of their own country. So even today, Australia's head of the state is the British monarch. That's why Australia is not a republic. Okay. A lot of us have this idea that a republic is about constitution. Well, that idea comes from the fact that we became a republic on 26 January 1950. We also chose to enforce the constitution on that day in 1950. That's why there is this misconception that we became a republic because the constitution was enforced on that day in 1950. Not really, my friends. On that day, the first president of India took the oath of office. That's why 26 January 1950 is the Republic Day. Let me repeat. On 26 January 1950, the first president of India took the oath of office. And you know who was the first president of India? The freedom fighter, lawyer, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. So that's the Republic Day. Okay. As part of the Republic Day Parade 2026 celebrations, identify the correct statements. Of course, the Indian Navy has been given the best marching contingent. Then, of course, Maharashtra got the first award for its tableau, which talked of Ganeshotsav, a symbol of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Among apart from states and the armed forces, then there are departments, government departments, ministries that present their own tableaus. And this is the Ministry of Culture won, for its, tableau named Vande Mataram, the soul cry of a nation. Vande Mataram is the national song of India. It was written by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee. Bankim Chandra. Now, when you say Bankim Chandra, please, you please need to know that he wrote this in a book called Anand Mat. What is the book? Anand Mat. Now, I just was looking for Were there any questions? Anand Mat. But we, from that long poem, we took only, a couple of stanzas. And now the government of India has said that, no, 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 we'll go back to all the 6 stanzas. Now, all of us are familiar with the first 2 stanzas, so we'll have to learn the other stanzas as well, which won't be difficult. Meet Mark Tully or Mark Tully. Mark Tully was a British newscaster. In fact, he was a British broadcaster, BBC broadcaster. He was a writer. You could say chronicler of modern India. He was born in what today we call, he was part of British. He was born in India, undivided India before independence. And, Mark Tully was with the BBC for a long, long time. You know what? He had this education back in Britain, and there a part of its school education in India. Then of course later higher school education, not just high school education, but also college education was in Britain. And he enrolled for a course in theology because he wanted to be a priest. Why he opted out? Well, he couldn't trust himself. Okay, so please read a bit about him. You will understand what I mean. So, if you read this book, No Full Stops in India, he's written many books. No Full Stops in India. I read this book, I think more than 25 years back. Yeah. In fact, I think 30 years back or something, I read this book. No Full Stops in India. A country, India in slow motion. There is another book like this. But this is a very good book. No Full Stops in India. He passed away, died. He passed away recently. Meet Subhanshu Shukla. He was the second astronaut from India to travel into space. Was the first Rakesh Sharma. Squadron leaders Rakesh Sharma. This is Group Captain Subhanshu Shukla. He is the first Indian to have gone to the International Space Station, and he received the Ashoka Chakra. He received the Ashoka Chakra. The Ashoka Chakra is the highest peacetime award. Okay, highest peacetime military award. Remember this: highest peacetime military award. During wartime, the highest award would be Paramveer Chakra. This is wartime. While peacetime, the highest award would be Ashoka Chakra. Okay. So then, of course, there is Kirti Chakra, number 2, second highest during peacetime, Shaurya Chakra. Okay. Let's go a little beyond this. And he traveled to the International Space Station on a private mission called Axiom Mission 4. I'm writing in short, Mission 4. This is a private space mission. You see, this is the flag of India, and of course, on his shoulders, on his sleeves, he has the logo of ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, which was established in 1969. We have another question. This is on the 16th National Voters Day, which was celebrated on 25th January. Why on this day? In 1950, the Election Commission of India was established on 25th January. On 25th January 1950, the Election Commission of India was established. Consequently, the founding day of the Election Commission of India is celebrated as National Voters Day. So the theme was My India, My Vote. Now today, the Election Commission of India has, one CEC plus 2 ECs, election commissioners. One CEC is Gyanesh Kumar, and the 2 election commissioners are Dr. Sukhbir Singh Sandhu, SANDHU, while the second person, of course, I wanted to write like this, another one, but any which way, another one is Dr. Vivek Joshi. So 2 election commissioners. Okay. The T20 Men's Cricket World Cup is being held in India and Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh acted smart. They said that they don't want to play in India because of security concerns and all. And okay, they tried, to play their cards, but they had to fold up because ICC put its foot down and said no shifting of your matches away from India to Sri Lanka. There is no security threat to your players, to your team, so you can all come down to India to play. So, but Bangladesh refused to play, and ICC had to replace Bangladesh with Scotland. Yeah. So as of now, the Cricket World Cup is underway, and you should know one more thing, that the 2028 tourney will be held in Australia and New Zealand. Australia and New Zealand. This is 2026, India and Sri Lanka. 2028 in Australia and New Zealand. In collaboration with the Union Ministry of Information Broadcasting, which state government has hosted the 11th Ajanta Ellora International Film Festival, Maharashtra. Both are historic places. Ajanta is home to, let me just use this yellow, I think. Ajanta is famous for its Buddhist caves. Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. These were built more than 1,000 years back, 1,500 years back. Think of it. Even today, it's difficult to go to this kind of caves. Imagine back in those days, they actually built this. And as you walk into the caves, you will find paintings. How did they create all those? It's imagination. That's one. Two, in fact, it's fertile imagination. But second most important thing is execution. The level of skill, the level of understanding of physics. Physics would be light, optics, and everything else. The understanding of colors, what would stick, what would run long time. I mean, amazing thing. Yeah. So in Ajanta, you would find Buddhist caves, where in Ellora, you'll find the Kailash, you would find Hindu and Jain temples, Jain caves, Hindu and Jain caves. And the most famous is the Kailash Nath Swami temple, or Kailash, Kailash Nath Swami temple, or Kailash temple. Kailash temple. You know what? This is a monolithic temple. Monolithic temple. Mono means single, lith means rock. This temple is, let's say, carved. If this is a temple, my friends, okay, it's a very big temple. I have to do something like, yeah. Remember, it was carved from the top to the bottom. It's a huge temple with extreme intricate, paneling. In fact, there is one particular way on the sides of the main temple, you'll find that the story of Mahabharata chiseled in the stone in a small panel like this. If you read it, reverse way, you will also find it, some on the other side, you will find, if you look at it differently, you will find the story of Ramayana. Please visit. It's a great place to go. Yeah. And this temple was built by the Rashtrakuta kings. The Supreme Court of India has recently held that the right to menstrual hygiene is a part of the right to life under Article 21. See, in India, there is a great deal of stigma attached to menstruation. Now, it's a pretty normal biological thing, my friends. But unfortunately, in our country and large parts of the world, not just India, in large parts of the world, menstruation is, has an attendant stigma, which is unfortunate. But this also has its own problems. This has led to a drop in school enrollment of girls, especially the girl child who has come of age. The first period is called menarche. The first time a girl experiences periods is called menarche. You can write with an Y also. Yeah. When the girl comes of age, this is called coming of age. When the girl attains puberty, what happens is that she would need, access to sanitation, sanitary pads, clean, toilets, everything, where you could change the pads and all. Unfortunately, a lot of government schools and even private schools, there is no such thing called clean toilets. And this impacts the girl child. And a lot of these people, a lot of these things, have impacted the enrollment. There is a perceptible drop in the enrollment of girl child in, of higher classes beyond 13, usually the age to when they attain puberty, these days. So, girl children drop out. And that is not a good sign, my friends. So the Supreme Court said it is the government's work, government's bounden duty to ensure that there are clean toilets in schools, functional toilets, and two, that the girl child has access to biodegradable, affordable sanitary, pads and related equipment. So, I mean, this is a very good ruling. You would find that in some parts of India, especially in Delhi and all, some NGOs have gone ahead, built toilets, and did the same thing years back. That is, providing sanitary pads and all free of charge by installing vending machines, sanitary pad vending machines. What happened? The enrollment of the girl child went up. See, this is how things change. Small steps, my friends. I'm sure that you will be familiar with some of these articles here. Article 14 talks of right to equality. It starts with this, it comes under right to, what is it? Right to equality is a fundamental right. Articles 14 to 18 is fundamental rights. Right to equality. Right to equality, right. I'll write in your bhasha. Articles 14 to 18. Okay. So this is the first one. 17 here. 18, all come here. 17 is about the abolition of the practice of untouchability. Unfortunately, in our country, in some parts, untouchability is still practiced. Okay, so the Constitution clearly says that there shall not be no person shall be discriminated against, through the practice of untouchability. So that's abolition of untouchability. And Article 18, which I mentioned earlier, is about abolition of titles. Abolition of titles. What about Article 32? Now, there are fundamental rights that start with Article 12, go until 35. Okay. Now, within this, Article 32 talks of the right to constitutional remedies. What is it? The right to constitutional remedies. Now, in case my fundamental rights are violated by any law of the government, by any action of the government, central, state, whatever, then I have a right to approach higher judiciary. Like, for example, under Article 32, I can directly approach the Supreme Court and, call for intervention, saying that my fundamental rights have been trampled because of certain government action or law. If the Supreme Court believes, my contention is right, that yes, indeed, the laws of the government of India, actions of the government of India, state governments have led to suppression of my fundamental rights, then it would rule that such law of the government, such action by the government is null and void. Null and void. Now, this is under Article 32, where you can approach the Supreme Court. Now, if you would want to approach the High Court, then you would have to go through Article 226. Article 226 says that a citizen can approach the Supreme Court of the High Court in any state, for redressal of, in case any fundamental right is violated. Any fundamental right is violated. Okay. Who holds the record of having presented more than 10 union budgets? Monarji Desai is a former prime minister, former deputy prime minister, former finance minister. Ladies and gentlemen, he was a Congress guy, but he broke away from the Congress and later in 1977 became the first non-Congress prime minister of India. He was the prime minister between 1977 and 79. And he became the chief prime minister of India at the age of 81. He is the oldest first-time prime minister of India. Can you believe this? At the age of 81, he became the prime minister of India. First non-Congress prime minister and oldest prime minister of India. And one more thing, he was the finance minister between, I think, if I'm not wrong, 67, 69, and then 74. Yeah. So he was there in the 60s and till 69. So let's make it 66, 69, and then if I'm not wrong again, he was a finance minister in the 70s as well. But there's a problem here. He broke away from the Congress, and he's a pretty controversial guy, Gandhian. Honestly, he called himself a Gandhian. People saw him as a Gandhian, but his role in our nuclear policy is pretty controversial. Not just nuclear policy, but also raw RAW, in how he leaked to Pakistan certain things that should not have been told to the Pakistanis, but he did. Read up a bit about Morarji Desai, you'll understand what I'm talking about. One more thing, he received the Bharat Ratna in 1991. 1991. He was 99 years old at the time. And the second, while Morarji Desai has presented 10 budgets, Nirmala Sitharaman and I'll write it here. PC, Pallinappan Chidambaram and Nirmala Sitharaman have both presented 9 budgets each. 9 budgets each. We have a full-scale budget issue. You will not find many budget-based questions in this particular presentation because we have a video on the union budget. We have analyzed the union budget, given you an understanding of the terms that are used, in a budget like presented by, budget presented by Nirmala Sitharaman, Finance Minister of India. This is magnificent, ain't it? There's a double-decker bridge you can see. But what is this? The government of India has recently submitted living route. What is it? Living route bridges of to UNESCO for construction under the 2026-27 World Heritage Evaluation Cycle. Now, in Meghalaya, you would find certain living bridges like this. Now, here, these are all basically these are roots of I'll write it here. Ficus elastica, rubber fig trees. These are roots of rubber fig trees. Okay. Now they expand, and as they expand, those trees here, then the roots, the branches, and everything. In between, the locals put they put logs, bamboo, and everything. Build a bridge around this. Okay. So back in the times, not today, when there was no modern infrastructure like we have today in large parts where you can cross streams through small bridges and all. Back in those days, nothing was there. These bridges came in handy for the locals. Okay, and I think locally they are called Jiang Kiang Ri. Okay, this is a local name, and you would find them only in Meghalaya. Meghalaya's capital is Shillong. What is it? Shillong. Manipur, Imphal. Sikkim, Gangtok. Shillong here. Let me repeat. Mizoram, Aizawl. Arunachal Pradesh, Itanagar. What is it? Itanagar. UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization is a UN specialized agency headquartered in Paris. Okay. And it's headed by, there is a new Director General. His name is Khalid El Inani. Okay. Yeah. In the recent budget, the defense allocation was the highest ever. How much? 7.85 lakh crore rupees, of which now this is a huge jump. Yeah, previous time it's about 15% jump from previous years. But look at this. Where is this where is this 7.85 lakh crore going? You see the numbers. Capital expenditure to buy new weapons, ammunition, fighter aircraft, missiles and all. So nearly 2.19 lakh crore rupees would go into capex. But look at the salary expenses, a little over 2 lakh crore rupees. And little over 2 lakh crore rupees will go into paying salaries of armed forces personnel. And you look at this, pensions, 1.71 lakh crore rupees. That's a lot. If you add up 2.07, 1.7, you could take 3.8, what is it, 3.8 lakh crore rupees go off of the budget, goes into paying salaries and pensions. That is the reason why, given that we have a true front war, enemies, placing, you have Pakistan on the west and China on the north and the east. We need to upgrade our infrastructure, especially our arms, ammunition, aircraft, ships and all. And that is why a little over, there has been, increase in capex also. It's a little over 2.1, little under 2.2 lakh crore. But, and of this amount, this is a 28% of this, of the allocation for defense sector, defense budget is a capex. Who is the Raksha Minister, Raksha Mantri or Defense Minister of India? Rajnath Singh. Carlos Alcaraz. Alcaraz belongs to Spain and he won the Australian Open men's singles title. He defeated Novak Djokovic. It's mentioned. Runner-up, winner. The 2026 Australian Open Grand Slam Tennis Championship. In a calendar year, there are 4 Grand Slam events. Australian Open, then we have the French Open, which is played on clay. Then, of course, we have the Wimbledon, played on grass. And in the end, we have the US Open. So, the inaugural, Grand Slam event of the year was won by Carlos Alcaraz of Spain. As far as the women's singles title is concerned, it was won by Elena Rybakina of Belarus. No. She belongs to Kazakhstan. I think I'll just clear this. She belongs to Kazakhstan. Okay. Kazakhstan. She beat, what's her name? She beat Arina Sabalenka of Belarus. She belongs to Belarus. Now I got it right. Belarus. Women's singles winner and runner-up. India has 98 Ramsar wetlands after having added 2. Patna Bird Sanctuary in Uttar Pradesh and Chari Dand in Gujarat. Now, Ramsar, what we say, Ramsar wetlands are protected under the Ramsar Convention. This was signed in 1971. Ramsar is a place in Iran on the Caspian Sea coast. A lot of countries today have wetlands and they need to see wetlands are ecosystems, especially for animal and plant life. A lot of animal and plant life thrive in and around a wetland. Okay. So, dedicated rare earth corridors will be established to promote mining, processing, research, and manufacturing in all of the states. Now, what's the rare earth? Now, rare earth elements are 15. How many? 15. There are 15 rare earth elements. They are called REE, rare earth elements. There are 15, of which 13 are lanthanides. You will find this in the periodic tables. Then plus scandium and one more, yttrium. See, they are called rare earth not because they are rarely available, they are scarcely available, but because it is very difficult to extract them from ores that are widely available. For example, all of these are greatly available everywhere. Okay, a lot of them are available in many places of the world. but they are spread across ores, different ores. Because they are thinly spread across ores, first you have to process that local ore, I mean that particular ore, let's say iron ore. From there, you have to process it, extract this particular thing. So it takes a lot of processing. It takes first mining, then processing, then purification, everything else. So it is pretty expensive, and it requires extraordinarily large amount of, money and technology, both money and technology. So you have this. We require these rare earths because they have diverse industrial applications. Magnets, we require them for lasers, both defense and industrial uses. Then electronic components everywhere. Yeah. So we, as of today, have pretty little. We have adequate. In fact, I think we have the third largest rare earth reserves, but extracting them is quite tough. Okay. So we have now launched a particular policy where we will have dedicated rare earth corridors in all these places. This is a good development. We wouldn't have to depend on foreign countries for, supply of rare earths. Which state is the largest contributor to India's renewable energy capacity, which, after accounting for nearly 16.5%, my friends, Gujarat is number one when it comes to renewable energy. Now, it also leads in rooftop solar installations. There is a, subsidy given for this, and they are cashing on it, of course. Gujarat also ranks first in overall wind installations. And coming to, employment generation, well, it has generated. See, when you talk about installing, maintaining, manufacturing, supplying them, transporting them, and erecting them, all of these things require a lot of people. And that's why it's been able to generate nearly 3 lakh jobs, 2.5 lakh jobs, my friends. 2.5 lakhs jobs directly and indirectly. It's good for local economy as well. Who is the new Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra? The former Deputy, Ajit Pawar, who was the Deputy Chief Minister at the time of his death in a plane crash. Yeah, is succeeded by his wife Sunitra Pawar. So there are let me make it easy. There is Chief Minister called Devendra Fadnavis. Devendra Fadnavis is the CM. Then there are two deputy CMs. One is Eknath Shinde. I am writing only Shinde. Okay, Eknath Shinde. And of course, then we have Sunitra Pawar. I written surnames on. So that's about it. She belongs to what is called the Nationalist Congress Party, and he belongs to Shiv Sena. While Devendra Fadnavis belongs to the Bharatiya Janata Party. What is the percentage in tax deduction that is being given by state, being given by the center to states? 41% has been recommended. 41% has been recommended. See, the Finance Commission of India, let me write it, is a mandatory body to be established under Article 280 of the Constitution of India. So, Article 280 says that there must be a Finance Commission of India, where it will be appointed by the president. So 1, 2, president appoints, and 3, it has a 5-year term. 5-year term. Its basic job is to define financial relations between the center and the states. Financial relations between the center and states. Now, one more thing you need to understand is that it says that central government collects all kinds of taxes, like, for example, the GST. It collects, corporation tax, which is the tax on company income. It collects income tax. Some of this must be shared with, states. So as of today, 41% is the number. 41% is the number. The 16th Finance Commission is headed by Dr. Arvind Panagaria. The 16th Finance Commission is being headed by Dr. Arvind Panagaria. Okay, he's a professor of finance at Columbia University. Meet Veerabhadran Ramanathan. He's received the what is it? The Crawford Prize, the 2026 Crawford Prize, which is the Nobel Prize of Geosciences. The Nobel Prize of Geosciences. So his contribution has been, it comes from the 1970s, and you would find that his major work has been on in atmospheric sciences. He was the guy who discovered that chlorofluorocarbons, what is it? Chlorofluorocarbons, were potent greenhouse gases, not just ozone depleting substance. Till then, the belief was that, till the mid 1970s, the belief was that chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, depleted the ozone. Ozone layer is the upper layer of the atmosphere, stratosphere. If this is the surface of the earth, okay, the troposphere, this is called troposphere, TROPO, troposphere. This is the equator, okay, remember this. At the poles, the height decreases, earth becomes narrower, isn't it? So it's about 18 kilometers here and about 8 kilometers here. So here there is stratosphere. And within the stratosphere, the upper layer is called ozone. Now, the CFCs were depleting ozone was the prevailing thought. He said not just that they were the greenhouse gas, that they were depleting the ozone, they are also causing climate change. How? By acting as greenhouse gases. And he also talked about how soot, burnt ashes and all, soot and particles affect monsoons and heat up the atmosphere. And this has ramifications on extreme rains in certain parts of the world and not so, droughts in other parts of the world. So, Veerabhadran Ramanathan, he is a professor at the University of California, San Diego campus. Let's go to Kyrgyzstan, isn't it? Khanjar military exercise is between India and Kyrgyzstan. So, where is Kyrgyzstan? This is Kyrgyzstan. Let me use red here. Could we use? Yeah, I think red will work. This is green is Kyrgyzstan. This is our India. Yeah. Kyrgyzstan. This is China. This is Mongolia. And Kyrgyzstan's capital is Bishkek. Uzbekistan, CCs. Yeah. Tashkent. You would be familiar with this place. This is where Lal Bahadur Shastri, the second Prime Minister of India, passed away. Tajikistan, you will find it down here. Yeah. Dushanbe. Turkmenistan, down here. This is Turkmenistan. It's a pretty large country. The capital is Ashgabat. It's a pretty secretive place. Ashgabat. And Kazakhstan. This is large, super large country. Astana is the capital. Astana. Now, I want you to understand something here. Kazakhstan is the largest landlocked country in the world. It has no access to sea. Of course, there is a Caspian Sea here. There's an Aral Sea here. But don't worry, these are inland seas. So, no access to the Samudra. To come to a coast, it would have come to a sea, it would have to cross either China this side and or Russia on the other side. And of course, it would have to cross Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, and here. Or Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, and see. A lot of ways, of course. Yeah. So, the 2026 World Government Summit was convened under the theme Shaping Future Governments in Dubai. Dubai, as you know, is the largest city in the United Arab Emirates. Tripoli is the capital of Libya. Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Sofia, Bulgaria. And Vienna, Austria. Vienna is Austria, the capital of Austria. Which city will become the second in the world to have the loop transportation? The first, of course, is Las Vegas. Now, what's loop? This is being built by a company called the Boring Company. What is it? Boring company. Yes, yes. It's not getting you, boring. Like you could be bored now. It is boring in the earth. So what it does is, because there are a lot of cities in the world where there's a lot of congestion, especially in places like India. Yeah. Now what it does is, let's say we are here. Okay. It would have an underground tunnel. We would go down, then it would transport us to the other part of the city. How? Where we want to go. How? It would have electric cars. Electric cars, where there is zero emission because it's electric. So this car would take us to the venue, to our destination. So now they are looking at all electric, zero emissions, high speed underground public transportation system in which passengers are transported to their destination with no intermediate stops. They're looking at transporting 90,000 people per hour in Dubai. That's a lot of people, isn't it? Yeah. These kinds of things could change the way we navigate, we drive around. Plus India 2026, which focused a lot on sustainability, was held in New Delhi. And the theme was zero waste exhibition model. Zero waste exhibition model. I'll not focus on beyond this. Basically, who is the managing director and chief executive officer of Yes Bank, recently appointed? This is Vinay Tonse. Vinay Tonse has succeeded. This is the outgoing guy. Yeah, new guy. Sanjeev Puri, the CEO of ITC Limited. Srini Pallia. Srini Pallia. I think Wipro. Yeah. Rajiv IndusInd Bank. IndusInd Bank. Yeah. So this is also a new guy. Rajiv Anand is a new guy. That's all from me, Bharat Jain. Have a lot of fun. Thank you for being here. Enjoy yourself. Thank you.